Welcome back, everybody. This is the brown sugar Belgium ale brew day. This is pretty much the same one I made last year, but I was going to do it a little different, and we'll get into what was different about this one than last year's. This is a pretty simple recipe bill. It all started with the basicbrewing.com recipe. This year I did change it. I was going to double the brown sugar, but once I got to it, I decided not to. So in this recipe this year, there's 12 pounds of Pilsner malt, 4 pounds of white wheat, 2 ounces of Fuggles, and 1 pound of dark brown sugar. The Fuggles goes in at 60 minutes of the boil, all 2 ounces. Then the pound of brown sugar goes in at 30 minutes. Basically, I crush all the malts together, and I'll put some pictures up, or you guys already see them. I did not think I would need rice hulls because this was a fly sparge. I didn't think I needed them, but we'll see down later. I almost got a stuck sparge. I actually had to stir it and do a lot to get the wort to come off and my vorl off. But once the grains are crushed, I started heating my water. For the mash in, the target was 152, and at the end of the mash in, it was 156. So pretty good there. That was an hour rest in there. My mash out was 168. Now, the funny thing about this one, and maybe you guys can help me with this, is I needed 5.625 gallons of water for my mash in. Now, that's a lot more than my first batch, but that's what I did. Then my mash out was 2.8 gallons. Once everything was said and done, my fly sparge, that was 0.84 gallons, but I did heat up 2 gallons just to make sure I had enough. Once I was done, once the hour was up, I drew off 7 gallons of liquid into my boil pot and then started boiling that. Now, I did notice I had a lot more liquid left in the mash tun, so I drained another 2.5 gallons and I made a separate 1 gallon beer. And I'll make a video on that because I threw some weird stuff in there. But for this beer, once we hit the boil, like I said, 2 ounces of Fuggles at 60 minutes. Then a half hour later, I threw in 1 pound of dark brown sugar. Now, when I originally scaled the recipe, or to change the recipe, I was going to put in 2 pounds of dark brown sugar. That would have taken this to 11.2. But after some convincing by the wife, I kept it at 1. So it should come in, I'm guessing, around a 9 or a 9.5, which last year I think it was a 8.9. And you couldn't taste the alcohol at all. And that's the reason I wanted to up it, to see at what threshold we would start tasting that alcohol. For the yeast on this one, I used, what was it? 500, I think. Yes, WLP 500 yeast. I did make a starter with 2 packets of yeast because I thought I was going to do 2 pounds of brown sugar, and I wanted to make sure there was enough yeast in there for that kind of gravity. But again, I only put 1 pound of dark brown sugar, so I only used half the 2-liter starter, and then I put the rest in the fridge. So we'll see how it turns out. It is in the carboy now, and I am using the Big Mouth bubbler, so I'm going to do a review on that. Another review, I should say, on that, because there's some interesting stuff on the Big Mouth bubbler too. But all in all, everything's going well. I am fermenting this at 72 degrees. to bring out that Belgian yeast. And that's about it. The pre-boil gravity was 15 bricks. So kind of high, I guess. My post-boil gravity, when it went into the carboy, was 17.5. So hopefully that yeast does its job and gets it down there real low so we have a high alcohol beer. But let me know what you guys think. Have you guys made this recipe or saw it on basicbrewing.com? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, happy brewing.